As is customary, we will begin with opening statements. 5 weeks ago, because of the work of Director Patel, we learned that the former chair of the House Intelligence Committee and current United States Senator leaked classified information. We learned this because a whistleblower came forward. Whistleblower with 23 years experience in the intelligence community, a Democrat staffer on the committee, said this: they were pressured to leak classified information, which sort of raises the obvious question. Why would the head of the Intelligence Committee, the chair of that committee, who's supposed to be guarding our secrets, why would he be encouraging the leaking of classified information? Whistleblower told us that answer as well. The leaked information was supposed to be used, the leaked information, false information, was going to be used to indict President Trump. Now, the former chairman wasn't the only person leaking information. Jim Comey was also sharing things he wasn't supposed to share. Again, don't take my word for it. The Inspector General told us this. In his report, he said, quote, James Comey violated FBI policy by disclosing classified information. And what was Comey's motive? Same as the senator from California: to sabotage and undermine President Trump's first term. And we know that Mr. Comey's not been shy about what his objective was. In fact, 4 months ago, he told us. Remember this? 8647. Jim Comey told us just 4 months ago. Now, how'd they do it? How did the former chair of the Intel community, the former FBI director, and others in our government attempt to undermine President Trump's first term?
You know, for years, we were told that the entire Russia collusion narrative was gospel truth, shoved down our throats by a media complex desperate to destroy Donald Trump. But as the truth finally comes to light, it turns out the entire thing was a manufactured, weaponized political hit job orchestrated from the very top. Jordan and Kash Patel just blew the lid off.
7 weeks ago, because of the good work of the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, we learned from another whistleblower, a second whistleblower, that in the closing days of the Obama administration, the intelligence community assessment was changed. On December 5th, 2016, they had one assessment. That assessment said Russia did not impact the election vote count. There was a meeting at the White House on December 9th, 2016, where it was decided, no, we're not going to have that. We're going to come up with a new one. And the new one said Russia was trying to influence election and did influence election, which just wasn't accurate. And that new one is published on January 6, 2017. Let's just show you a few things that took place. I want to show you first this email from Admiral Rogers, the head of the NSA. You can see it was December 22nd. It says to Jim, John, and Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Jim Comey. And he says, I asked my team if they've had sufficient access to the underlying intelligence, sufficient time to review that intelligence. On both points, my team raised concern. Further states, my folks aren't fully comfortable. A few hours later, there's an email back to Admiral Rogers. This one is from Jim Clapper, and it says this: it is essential that we be on the same page and all of us are supportive of the report in the highest tradition of, that's our story and we're sticking to it. We may have to compromise on our normal modalities. This is one project that has to be a team sport. That's our story and we're sticking to it. Compromise on normal modalities, that's a fancy way of saying, that's the government speak for we're going to have to change the rules. In fact, we're not going to follow our own rules. And that's exactly what they did, to get the objective they wanted, to undermine President.
The sheer scale of corruption revealed in this hearing is staggering. Jordan kicked things off by going straight for the jugular, exposing how the former chair of the House Intelligence Committee pressured intelligence staff to leak classified information. A whistleblower with over 20 years in the intelligence community came forward to confirm that false leaked information was deliberately pushed out just to build a fraudulent case against Donald Trump. And let's not forget James Comey. The Inspector General already proved that Comey violated FBI policy by leaking classified information for the exact same purpose to sabotage Trump's first term. Comey hasn't even bothered to hide his objective, treating the FBI like his own personal political weapon. When the people entrusted with guarding our nation's secrets turn them into partisan shivs, you're looking at textbook subversion of democracy. The most damning moment of the hearing came when Jordan exposed how top intelligence officials, including John Brennan, James Clapper, and James Comey, completely rewrote an intelligence assessment in late 2016. Emails from Admiral Rogers, the head of the NSA, proved his team had serious concerns about the underlying intelligence. How did Clapper respond? With an infamous directive. It is essential that we be on the same page. That's our story and we're sticking to it. We may have to compromise on our normal modalities. Compromise on normal modalities is just government speak for throwing out the rules to get the political outcome they wanted. They took a garbage politically funded dossier, used it to brief the president-elect, and leaked it to the press to launch a years-long national nightmare. Thankfully, the era of the FBI operating as a weaponized political police force is crashing to an end. Kash Patel was rightly praised for cleaning house, forming strike forces to hunt down violent predators, rescuing trafficked children, and putting a permanent stop to the madness.